So guys, check this out. So you've seen just now, I have this absolute awesome upgrade to the truck. It's one of them things where it's like, it's a small little adjustment and it just completes the whole truck. And we've been doing this whole OEM plus thing with a new radio, and just in general, like the whole truck build is kind of OEM plus. So this right here, I think is gonna jump the truck up from a 2014 to at least like a 2018 in my opinion. But this Denali cluster I have behind me is gonna be such an awesome upgrade. I've been looking for it so much, but I found this Denali cluster off of some wrecked like 2015 truck, got it shipped from some junkyard, and then sent it out to White Automotive and Media Services, and they reprogrammed it for my truck. We're gonna go ahead and install it, but you can't tell, there's like a few blemishes on it, which I'm not a big fan of, like some scratches and stuff. So I'm actually gonna sit here and see if I can buff this out, kind of clean it up a little bit. You can't swap out the factory cover for this one. They're different sizes and have different like little pieces on them and stuff, so it's not gonna work. But I'll see if I can fix this up a little bit and kind of get it more shiny, and then we'll get to installing it. That seemed to definitely do something here. Really cleaned it up a good bit, so I think that's definitely acceptable. So let's go ahead and stick this thing in the truck. All right, y'all. So to get this cluster out here, got to go ahead and pop this guy off, which is just some clips. You just kind of give them a little push up, and they should come out, which might take some negotiation here. Now, after pushing that off, I didn't even use that thing right there. That comes right up. There's some little pins on it, so you kind of have to just kind of pry up on that. And then you're gonna have some screws here. You're gonna have some 7 mils right here. So go ahead and remove these guys real quick. All right, once you got those out, now you need to go ahead and make sure you can take this guy out here. So I just need to remove my little pedal commander real quick. And then this guy with some clips is gonna pop out, just like that. And it pops out at the bottom here too, on both sides. And this should just lift right out. There's like one more clip, I bet. You gotta carefully remove this guy. It's got some clips on the back which could potentially scratch up your dash here, so you gotta be kind of gentle with it. There we go. It's kind of just like a pain to get out. All right, now you got 4 bolts to get out. So you got this guy here, one right there, and you have one, that one here, and then this one over here. They're all 7 mil still, so go ahead and snatch those guys out. Now our cluster should just come on out here, but it's gonna have a little connector in the back that you gotta take out. And there's a connector back here that you gotta get out, which is that guy right there. And it's a little pin. All right, so you're gonna see a little tab right here, and you're gonna lift this guy up. It's gonna pull it out, but you gotta push this little tab in first, lift this guy up, just pull a little connector, whole thing comes out, and now you can get your cluster out. Now if we just do a little side by side, you can tell just how like newer this one looks. We have a different style of gauges and stuff. We have a whole digital display in the middle. You don't have your analog gauges, which are nice, but you only have a little tiny screen here, and they have the whole thing. So we're gonna go ahead and get this guy installed because it's programmed. Don't do this and let you get yours programmed because it won't have your mileage. Allegedly, it can break it. So yeah, don't throw one in and expect it to work. You have to get it programmed to your vehicle. So you gotta pretty much get the mileage. If you want to do like hours, you can get that off of these right here and put them into this one without like having to take both. You could just tell them what you want, and then you'd be good to go. First thing I'm gonna do actually is get up in here and clean. Like, look how disgusting this is. It's like never gonna be touched again. See, I'm gonna clean this up for a second. I'm actually gonna go ahead and switch this guy over. So this one comes in because the connector piece is on the right side of the cluster, but the connector is on the left side of this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just switch this wire from over here to right here. So this way it's a little bit easier, looks a little cleaner. All right, put the new guy in here. Kind of gent like. Be kind of a tight fit here. This one goes in just like this. Come on, brother, help me out. Help a brother out, please. There it goes. Let's line up these holes here. Now we're fully in here. Now before we put anything back, let's test it out and make sure it works. So key in. Okay. Oh, look at that, dude. Yo, no way. Yo, oh my gosh. It even has the truck logo in the middle. That's tight, dude.
My audio cut out, but I'm just explaining how to get the dash piece in easier.
This piece back in, the one that goes right before the cluster here, go ahead and just turn the truck to the on position right before you start, and then pull this down. Once you pull this guy all the way to the bottom, put it in like in the manual mode, this goes in like absolute butter, because if not, you're gonna get stuck like on this piece, and then you're gonna probably like maybe scratch up your glass and everything. So pull this guy down, slides in like it's literal butter. Let's do our finishing touch here. Add this guy back on real quick. There should be barbecue chicken right here, boy.
Out of the zone, they start going man, and then, you know, it's barbecue chicken from there.
Put this thing on. Knock them into place. All right, let's go ahead, play around with this thing and see what it's like, fellas. Turn the truck on here. Bro, this is like no joke. Let's see, the dimness works. Yep. Bro, look at this, dude. Okay. Navigation, no right actor, let's go here. All right, check this out. So here's the display theme, right? This is what everybody wants these for. This exact display right here. Because if we go back, boom, this is it. This is the whole reason people get this cluster, is only for this. All right, we got trip A there. That ain't my trip. Fuel range. Oil life, I think that's right. Tire pressure, ain't got it. I like how it has like the cool animations and stuff. That's actually pretty sick. And this is usually where I run mine right here. And then if we wanted to, we could add more pages. You got trip A. So these are the ones that are on right now. I don't need that one. I'm turning that one off. Fuel economy, let's put that one on. Fuel used and timer, speed limit, I got that one on. Engine hours, let's see if they added that. I asked them to add my hours, and I think it was like 5,800 something. So hopefully they added that in there. I hope they did. Best average right there. Engine hours 0. Okay, so they obviously didn't add that in there, but that's all right. We'll just start over from 0 and call it a day. Technology. What's the media one look like? Oh, whoa, dude, that one's actually like tough. Hold on, dude, this one's tough. It has the freaking compass up there. The fuel gauge and the temperature look pretty sick. Yo, hold on, this is actually like dope right here. Let's go back to standard real quick. All right, let's start her up and see what she does here. Oh yeah, that looks good. Dude, that's clean. Have my brake on, take my brake off. Lights are on because I'm inside. But no, dude, like this is actually like clutch. Look at this. I say 297 miles. Holy crap, and I got a full tank. That's crazy. It doesn't know my miles per gallon right now, so that probably makes sense. Got my cruise control on, turn that off. All right, let's go for a drive and try this out. I'm too excited.
All right, y'all, for some reason the audio cuts out whenever you have CarPlay connected, but check out this cluster, dude. Like, putting the cruise control on, you can see it kind of takes up the whole middle screen there. Nice green color. The old life chart here is actually pretty sick. It has like nice healthy fluid at the top and then dirty at the bottom, and then you have your fuel economy little instagraph here, where if you're using your gas, then you'll see it kind of get like light green, but then the more you save gas, it'll kind of boost up slowly, and it'll get like a nice vibrant green, where if here you let off the gas, it's like way up there, and then when you start to put your foot back on the throttle, you'll see it come down. Then the radio controls are pretty sick actually, so it takes up the whole screen again instead of just a little bit of the left side of the little tiny screen. I remember that. And what's really cool is the compass up top. So if you see it, it actually has like a little bit of like recoil whenever you see it, so it'll like come, say south, and it bounces and it comes slightly backwards, and here you'll see it again for southwest. Hopefully you'll see it for west. Yeah, really cool gauge.
All right, what's up, y'all? Today's verse of the day is Matthew 7, verses 13 through 14. I'm going to pull it up in my Bible here because I like the physical copy of Scripture. That just makes me feel like I'm more connected with God than looking at my screen, which I'm looking at most of the time anyway. All right, so Matthew 7, 13 through 14. Oh, this is a banger. All right, it says, "Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Now, I feel like for some of my Christians out there, you've heard this verse before, and it is incredibly accurate. It is so easy for us to just take the easy way out on things, right? Like, ever since technology and phones have come into our lives, like, they've just made it so easy to access things that are not good for us. But the enemy is so focused on making us comfortable in our little prison cells on this earth, with could be things like stuff like this right here, it could be a phone, whatever, right? People, we get so fixated on this nice and easy path, and that leads to the big wide gate, which is obviously not heaven. For us as Christians, I believe, personally, I think that it's so important to struggle. A lot of us don't like struggle, and for those who've come from struggle, we pretty much, you might be able to relate. All we try to do in life now is go from our hard past, whether it be like poverty, whether it be abuse, to now we try to make life super, super easy because we've had the rough. But my encouragement, coming from someone who had a rough past, it's very crucial to stay on the hard and narrow, because that is where it's going to lead us to salvation, and that's where we'll meet Christ. And if you ever ask God for patience, guess what? You get hard instances. You get hard situations you end up in. You know why? Because you asked for it. I've seen people say, you know, be careful what you pray for. I like to say be prepared for what you pray for, because anytime you ask for patience, you're going to get so many things that are going to irritate the crap out of you. So anytime I ask for patience, I bet you $10 something goes wrong on this truck, and I'm just like, dang it, dude. Avoid the easy route, which leads to destruction and which leads to pretty much an eternity away from good, and then stick to the hard and narrow, which is serving Christ, loving others, serving others, and like just going to the gym, like doing something like that makes you uncomfortable, right? I love this verse. I can go on all day long, but I won't take up too much of your time. Let's get back into the cluster.
But guys, what an awesome upgrade to Sierra here. It's just such a small detail in this build that makes her just pop, right? It makes her go from a 2014 to a 2021 model at the very least. And I mean, look at the detail here, like all the tick marks for each mile per hour, and even the little truck in the middle when you open a door. Like, the animation is pretty cool here. So honestly, such an inexpensive upgrade, but such a boost to the interior of this truck.
Yeah, dude, this cluster right here is just one of those things where it just brings up her level from, because she is a true SLE, brings her up to that Denali look of what I'm looking for, and we're keeping her modern, you know what I mean? She's a 2014, we got 2025s and 6s out here with like freaking flat screens and they daggum dash. So paired along with this radio and this cluster, I think we've done a pretty good job of bumping her up to where she's more modernized, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's stuff like this that's it's decently inexpensive modification. Depending on where you find your cluster, whether you buy it new from White Audio or you find it from a junkyard in a decent condition for not as expensive. Look around, see what you can find there. But do note that when you go through White Auto, like I said, you're gonna have to make sure they're very, very specific. And it's kind of humorous if you read through a lot of their Q&As on their website, because they seem like older folk that just don't play about their business. You know what I mean? They're like, listen, this is what you do. If you don't do it, we're gonna freaking roast you. And it's kind of funny if you go read it. So I'll link their website in the description below so you can go check it out if you're interested in that. Yeah, y'all, this is how it is, you know. We're doing everything we can to get Sierra, like, you know, kind of OEM plus here, you know. We've got our little ridges here with our Method 315s. We've got the Boost Auto running boards here, which are an awesome addition to the truck, and just everything in general, right? Like, we're trying to build her out and we're trying to do things properly, but not too over the top. That's kind of how I like my builds. You know, she's real ladylike, you know what I'm saying? She's not too crazy, not too flashy. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for sticking around. And as always, you can like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. It's your choice. Jesus loves you, and so do I. We'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.